nyame ya doma BlackStars ye first game against Panama na ye nyine hope say BlackStars ebetima je omo first 3 points wo FIFA World Cup say Panama for enya hye say kukuro na che say ojugu bye bye World Cup no say e be qualify na be ye diniye enti ye first game ne very important na no ana Zlatan Ibrahimovic Ibrakadabra football no or ye legend football we see akan e de ma teams akese bebre ani padodo na ye ka Zlatan a obia enim no na no na Zlatan Ibrahimovic say o hwe Ghana ye group na enkofo obo England enkofo ebo Croatia no hu ne say Ghana ebe disturb England ana Croatia na Panama de ombe yesibe obi abebu omu bi na ye petim obe ha Croatia ana England adwen ebe Ghana eno ana Ibrahimovic bigi odi akwakoto dwa yenkoni yenkotie de Zlatan Ibrahimovic Ibrakadabra esoso editu dwa.
I would like to choose Group L. We have England. Is it coming home? Let's see. We have Croatia. I have some roots from Croatia also, so I'm supporting them in this tournament. And then we have Ghana, big talents. Let's see what they bring. We have Panama. Unfortunately, in this group, I think there will be a punching bag where England, Croatia will fight for the first spot. And Ghana might disturb them and take some points. But I don't see Panama. I don't want to be like disrespect, but this is difficult. This is 3 confirmed nations.
We Zlatan Ibrahimovic. O se Ghana. Ana ye ka national team obeha England ana Croatia. E was our group Ghana. Panama de ombe sibe. De bi kan Oni Ibrahimovic adwen anasa one ne nya adwen se one ne nya adwen ana one ne ya adwen de enti ana bema one na ya adwen anasa one ne nya adwen ewo Ibrahimovic nsema awaka de afa the senior national team BlackStars.
Kwame, first of all, question I will be saying is mene ne ya adwen anasa mene ne nya adwen no mene ne ya adwen 100%. Yes, as Ghana a country obetimi atete Croatia and England per year. Na de ntia mene ne ya adwen ene se ohwe England, ohwe Croatia, these 2 countries when it comes to world football Kwame omo ya aman a eba football no ma je omo din wo football ne mu pa.
True.
Enti the moment aye group no na group ne ba abonten na Croatia be PM, England be PM. Obi o di group ne ho nkomo bi afiu say aman omo betimi qualify straight away from your group no first and second ne de ayet dan it should be England, ayet dan it should be Croatia. Omo mi ne be the top 2 countries on benya qualification e de free group no mo. And me jitu mu say Zlatan Ibrahimovic nkomo na odi no, I am sure he also has same view or opinion. Etu tie ne nkomo ne line na ekono a wanka se Ghana be top group no one can say they Ghana be qualify. Nemum Ghana na be country obetimi ha England and Croatia. So it means say on one kasa no or the England and Croatia to kind.
On na otepom so obetima qualify.
So obetima qualify. But in your group no so obi wom no be police surprise. So obi wom no betimi aye bibia ya nyene so obeya enya Panama nemum eye Ghana. Per the statement of Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Se Ghana ne betimi ha Croatia and England. Ghana ne betimi pick point. E dey free Croatia and England ho. It means so no ni hu so mo asa so mo di first and the second. England and Croatia. But obi be ha adwin wo group ni mu na obetete sa countries we ya. Ghana. Na de nti America se me ne Zlatan ya adwin ne say. Ghana has been to numerous World Cups. Tournament be our experience any kwan ya fa so bono. Obi betimi qualify for World Cup in the 60s, in the 70s. Wa bo watwam. Ebia onya opportunity nkobi onya akwanya nkobiem. But there's going to be a crop of players ombe baba be PSA o man na mu. Ombe PSA o man na mu a. Looking at the history of the country at the World Cup. Omo ane oma ban ebia na in the past no mu ni ho.
Yeah.
But once they are from that same country, no mu nim the history of the World Cup no. They always want to go by that history. Emre bi e chebo. Yempenifo ni yesei emre bi atwam omo mu di ye no mu ba ye no kwan sei no omo fa so ball bra e wo World Cup ni mu enti na ye nso so ya ba no per that history alone ye be pesa ye be fa sa kwan no so na ye nso ye be boy ye homoden said the beya a chile be a budia you bet me a boy and so you did the other bay at the account. It's the same crop of players and yet the same technical team, but at least on minor Copa World Cup ni be the Roman history, you know. It's the tournament experience. Some mine will be that. It is all science or Kobima and your problem on Famano. Number 2, the current crop of players of the Black Stars. Minimum say been one moment to be a tournament ni be no pra. E been no so on more. Omo more World Cup ni be that. But there are players in the squad omo so about World Cup ni be that. Or more experience when it comes to the World Cup. The last World Cup I boy na Baba Abdurrahman ka ho. Na Gideon Mensah ka ho. Na Thomas Partey ka ho. Na Jordan Ayew ka ho. These are players on my World Cup. Na Lawrence Atizigi ka ho. On my World Cup ni be gaining experience. It's the tournament experience now on mine will be than China. The current group of players, there are players in the squad that tournaments and I acquire World Cup no. Almost all experience for World Cup ni mu. It's they have teams. They are the TT teams. Quite a fast ball near the pick points. Any free teams to be on. Black Stars they will be because there are players in the squad that almost testy World Cup ni be that. Soccer World Cup in 2022 Kwame. Now ko ball against Portugal. Ko ball against South Korea. Who you capable so to be Croatia and England. Look at the kind of quality of Portugal kita. Your quality of team in kita. And a chunk of the Portuguese players in the 2022 World Cup were available.
Yeah.
It is a team no more sabreno. Na players you mo hono munne. Na bi no be part of that particular squad. Omo timi face England. Omo no be act as leaders of the team. Etimi no mo nuanom na kasa. Ehun kwa mo fa so abo against squad like England. Teams like Croatia. No mo ni omo bo. The tournament experience no omo will be. Aside that, your players were a national team anymore, with no disrespect to any national team. But your mind you on my World Cup now, or every obenya a single player. Our top flight football with Europe can put a problem. It's Okohu Hurricane, maybe an Yamakwa Session. Ebi our Kwakwaku Luka Modric, Nana Yamakwa Session. Okohu Budamemo, certain players at that level, Omobo La Liga, Omobo Premier League, Bundesliga, French League animal, no Makwaku, not tension at form, no Yamatis Yomo. But fortunately for us, you will players who young team anymore, almost all to the top level. How many players were in Malaysia? How many players will be about League and Champions League that? Jordan Ayew, Thomas Partey, Antoine Semenyo. These are players from about top flight football.
Now, Biggie, you can't say Antoine Semenyo, Jordan Wohono. Obisusu bit me busa say Ghana yeko 2006 World Cup first World Cup no.
Sure.
Now you group aye ne Italy ne Czech and na ne group near rate sa countries na ahead of Ghana. But now say Ghana na ye form any players you cry no. Enko for say a bit ma surprise empire ko ye. Yeko 2010 World Cup no. Na ye ne eye amaya kese and wo group nim. Comfortable say oh Ghana na bit ma surprise based on quality and cry because ne Germany mu ne sa omuna na Serbia and ye qualify.
I think Australia also.
Yes. But in 2010 World Cup ne Germany ni Portugal and US ne wo group nim. Comfortable say 2014 comfortable say see po bia obeha Portugal ne Germany adwana e be Ghana.
Yeah.
But ye ko wie ne ye akwa. Sure. Ye ntimi anya sa de.
Sure.
The last World Cup the same thing.
Sure.
Enti oh ye team where wo any place ye wo any omo form no any baby a rank out because as it stands now ye rank Panama ahead of Ghana.
Yeah.
Who ne say ye group ni nyina anka ye po bi a wo say oh se sha oh ye ranking se sha anka wo say Ghana.
Onya de dia.
Anka wo hedi onya de anka wo say ye Ghana.
Sure.
Anka wo say Panama abaso. By one sem na wo kan I say emfa wo say Panama you rating ahead of Ghana no. Still na no odidi say yen ne be surprise enkofu group nim. Kwame,
first of all, my member say people are not talking about Panama. Why? Because the tournament experience, Panama need be Maka Ghana tournament experience as a country. Panama needs our tournament experience maybe. Panama say make kind year. I think they've played one World Cup.
Yeah, 2018.
Yes. And on World Cup no mobile no. Kappa Panama beji and say washi go World Cup. The way they celebrated eji or money no, a share the level of Panama. Aside eno, what rank Kennedy Kwame yaye? Me jitum sa Panama when mu in Ghana, he's ranked around 33rd or so. Ghana number 70 something. No cre. It's a ranking near day cardia. Panama should be doing better than the Black Stars. That is for a fact. But then again, one can also come from an angle say Ghana and Panama need the same confederation. It's a beer. Senka Ghana and those who are confederation now Panama woman. Looking at countries at Panama no more qualifies any idea no. Ebianka Ghana would have ranked better than Panama. It could be an argument. Aside that, you go 2006 World Cup no so be kind year pa. Your group ni per FIFA ranking, you na near what form?
Yeah, you na near what form.
You na near what form? That time kind year pa Czech Republic was around second.
Yeah.
The whole world though.
No more pa.
The whole world. Oh, per country na your ranking the Cassia pa na Czech Republic ka ho. On na ranking the second they will be seeing na say me kind year pa.
No more omoka top.
We are saying no. Na Black Stars at Czech Republic na actually 2-0.
Yeah.
Want me and Jebi. But I ranking na ye di this an komo no a me sure say na Ghana ni bia ya mbehye no.
True. Esa your first time.
Your first time I kwa ko bobi ye minus ye mo tournament ni bi da. And the ankasa kra ni enye ye hunni. It was the reason it I am for like Kingston and Kobe. Because ni enim first 3 matches spend ye kobo. Ye ntimi qualify to the lie kwa ye because on to be more first 3 matches. But you qualify we na ye koye ni no. Afa ni enya ya na nkala ye wo ho because at that time no ye best winger.
And to be Ibami push you. Oh, your group in ma. Mejitum say, oh, you're ranking na. Oh, the England and Croatia are ahead of Ghana.
Yeah.
But me busao, me pay straight answer. Who did you say Ghana be qualifier now? Every group ni.
Yes, me who did you say Ghana be qualifier?
Ghana be qualifier.
Yes. The entire me who did you say? Tournament win kwame e den third for be qualify ka ho. Sa third for na be qualify say Ghana ka ho.
Inti Ghana be qualify.
Ghana be qualify.
Biggie say Ghana group a ne Panama, Croatia and England no. Owo gidie obetimi de nsa esi ne boso say Ghana e be qualify according to Biggie. Or say Ghana be qualify e dey free group nim. Na Manchester United legend, one kasa wo club or legend, former captain de Manchester United. Roy Keane as so di nkomo kakra e di afa BlackStars ye coach ne so ye coach Carlos Queiroz na Biggie Manchester United legend Roy Keane say ade ba ko onim e de fa Carlos Queiroz so pa na ye say o ye coach no be fa o team a ade obetimi ahyehyɛ dia ma o pa na ye say obema o defensive solidity obefa o team no hyehyɛ o ma akire ho no se mu nkurabo a eyire pampe intokro bi anim akwasibo ni beka se oma ironclad defense inframan pokrant mi mfem eno ana Roy Keane e di atodwa yenkoni yenkotie nsem a Roy Keane e kafa Ghana BlackStars head coach Carlos Queiroz.
One of Carlos's biggest defensive side of the game. Brilliant coach, huge question marks about him as a manager.
Yeah.
Certainly I thought he'd like the personality of a dead fish when I worked with him. But as a coach, very good session. But now that he's managing, and there's huge question marks over him. So whether he's too defensive, you know, it might backfire on him. But really, and that's fine if you're coaching. But then when you talk about being a manager and having that personality, I think that's where he comes up. And he only came in the last 1 or 2 months. Again, he's not had much time to work with the players. So they're a big challenge.
Mo legend ana wakasa no se Carlos Queiroz a BlackStars or the Eco World Cup no obefa team a the we obesi ahyehyɛ mo wechiro aye pampe no BlackStars ye major problem ba ko pa no defensive structure
but then we
Roy Keane
came in the last 1 or 2 months.
Watch Carlos Queiroz ni train na wire with BlackStars watch the game against Wolves who GDA say sa defensive problem any defensive structure na any BlackStars in World Cup we Carlos Queiroz bit ma solve the amaya
Kwame 100% me Roy Keane be adwen say coach ne betimi asolve the amaya
na die wo GDA was ro papa
and GDA ni based on nsem na omo ka no so omo ka say Ghana beje World Cup na nka menya GDA enka say an ye be kwakwaje debi but based on nsem na omo kan de many omo ya adwen 100%. I'm saying this because Kwame wow nim and we be dance here say one of the biggest problems ana BlackStars face how we set up our team defensively.
Sure.
Your defensive principles were very poor. And yebetimi anya players 8 or 18-yard box mu na ye concede goals. Yetimi nya players 10 ewe ye akire ho na ye concede goals. Yetimi nya 67 na ye concede goals. Against Austria, Ghana conceded goals na ye way avoidable.
True.
It was unpardonable. You go 18-yard area, ni nipa 7, nipa 8. Yet we were conceding goals against Austria, against Germany. Your defensive setup was very poor. Even when we were at the back defending, we were still conceding goals. But the last game and the only game our coach Carlos Queiroz abo for Ghana BlackStars, now against Wales. Against Wales, you conceded goal. Me feel say in a way it was a defensive problem and me concede this goal. No. But you saw mistake in the free more throughout the 90 solid minutes. At the back say Ghana keeping it intact was the defensive shape. Throughout the 90 solid minutes, with the exception of the goal we conceded. Throughout the 90 solid minutes, the defensive shape of the BlackStars. 4 never actually won them. And aside that, your defensive principles against goals assisted to the stand say now you're in nipa 6, nipa 7, nipa 8. Your defensive area and sana yet me defend better.
True.
4 now. Abroso I be a 5, 6. No baba be go actually won them. But yet it was difficult for the Welsh national team to penetrate. It's a fair decided say born into me fan madia yempa another antidote yempa another plan ben omobe use omobe call for the wide men no my crosses. And that was how they were playing, just because someone realized say defensive shape of the BlackStars, the defensive principle of the BlackStars has changed. It's almost to be for born and far from almost to be for born and fan penetrating into the BlackStars defense. And until the maker say, as some now Roy Ken more cano. Me know me are doing 100%. Me who a lot from the coach, but at least per the only game I match in the friendly against Wales. Quite BlackStars so far to defend the in the past and for how are you defending against Wales? Not to how are you defending against Germany now?
Difference.
For how are you defending against Wales? Not to how are you defending against Austria now? There is vast difference. It's some no more coach clearly. What it tells me is I'm coach. I friend is Carlos Queiroz because I clear, I evident. Obia she game ni bi. And I know ni idea back after the game. Nani pa bebre na di bo coach na baso. Say a defensive structure and the defensive shape it was good. The defensive principles were good to the extent that we didn't need a lot of players at the back line to be able to defend. But yet we defended solidly and we defended very well. Until the aka after the World game and say defense is okay and the problem has been the attack.
True.
And into the second half, Ghana did better. Why? Because in the second half there were players who attack. Yeah, at the BlackStars. If you looking at how we defended, the only thing we needed again in that particular game was to attack well and get numbers up front too. And as a get players me taking on the Welsh team, and yes, I did in the second half and sign. So what it means is a problem there down on the Papa shall say I'll solve it. It's in seminar Roy Ken more cano. For me, 100% minimum in the first game or boy, or convince me with the defensive structure and the defensive principles of the BlackStars Kwame.
And Biggie GDA no strong our BlackStars because we maybe or kodaye. We say enra only players in penyimfo ni bi di nkomo dia ase ne GDA our BlackStars mu I was through ye abibie koye etimi edema eye Ghana national team BlackStars no
mini abibia se ye die
na me adon kwaku bibia
Ghana for ye hwa wo yetie
ye kwaku medase na mamencha yetie for na mencha ahwefo enra FIFA World Cup no etimi ehyaase and I think say eno obi o witness say opening ceremony no or share the course no e Mexico no na I think say a very good and na fair I was see a ball FIFA for abaso ni mpanyimfo ahodo ni nyina abaso enra na opening ceremony to me na enye bada me ball mabaso bakwaku after the opening ceremony the opening game so called so between the host nation Mexico and South Africa yebo game ni nyina ba wie na Mexico etimi wini 2-0 as South Africa for so entimi antika obi o hwe game ni bia no kwaku the first na ube notice say opening game of FIFA World Cup yebo game ni wie na kwaku 3 red cards and a team pie game nim. And tying see FIFA World Cup. Mekai Yekra said the last edition of FIFA World Cup 2022 there no. From the opening game, you could see the last game. Last World Cup no. World Cup a record the PM no na baako nkwa 4. The last World Cup. Records a PM na baako nkwa 4. By this time around 2026 World Cup no, the first game I produced 3 records. So the first thing I was say try for you to obi ope football be when say I feel way 2026 World Cup no. FIFA 4 I'm a referees no strict instruction say obi obedience hu bia no on punishes our player no. And to World Cup when kwaku anhwe ya you better record a lot of records our World Cup because of rules, any power, any instructions are yediama referees no. Enti enu na me de say BlackStars team no enya akwenya hwe bie because ade baako a anhwe ya uye team na uye least mistake akwaku ubedi records be enti enu na first game the first thing akwaku me notice here no records epiem uye ni si nchen a the game itself menya sure say enu obi o hwe game ni bia ebeye no wan say Mexico for ahye South Africa born na ye witness say no Mexico for ni deserve so mo South Africa for na mbebo brebia wo game ni 2-0 ni mpokra na me hu ni say isa because born na Mexico for e boy no na Mexico for ni enkometi ma she be 5 and answer 6 the only player no what South Africa bo boku ni ma ubetima ka sempa e de afa ne ho un se no anatimi a standout player between Ono and the teammates. A South Africa for goalkeeper Williams. He was the only player. South Africa for set up Nima Kweku or making the difference. And to say no game in Pokrane se Mexico for 8 Michel just to player back who preventing Mexico for say Omunti a lot of goals. A South Africa for a goalkeeper Williams. Check the number of saves or yeah. Michel game no or ye 2 crucial saves bia. Na boni in was a platinum. And idea about Williams near say ne consistency. Okay, how I wait here consistent from 2023. Ebesine. Oji the best goalkeeper our Africa. Even in Pokrano, our the world stage. Awards akesi ultimate compete oka the finalist in home. And to say what checking the consistency. Enra, he was the only player Abeka say na the modern one so any our South Africa bobo konim apart from the goalkeeper player bienu our South Africa o deserve say ye bona baso goalkeeper ne nkwa ne timi yi ne ho bakwaku ade ye me nwa pa ne ye say obi onim Hugo Bruce any kwan of faso si akan no me hu ne lineup me hu ne formation ne setup no ehwa na me ka say da bi any Hugo Bruce ne South Africa Omama Mexico for so much respect because hardly na bon say Hugo Bruce ko game ma obey ne setup ni say okobo defensive game enra from the onset how was he share the team no how was he lining up how was he in the lineup no the first level no na oko a conservative football omo prioritizing defensive football first enti anopanim pokra be story be say South Africa for goalkeeper William say na omo game plan here say omo first 20 minutes I was omo timi defend it no mo preventing Mexico for say omo ntimi nche go that was the game plan enti enu South Africa for no say wo hwe ya omo shase with a 5 back omo shase with 5 at the back South Africa a national team and Hugo Bruce kwaku omo mbo 5 at the back mostly ombo 4 at the back 3 in the midfield and a 3 up front by enu game ne nkwa de o decide say obeko for a 5 at the back owie and also about 3 midfielders na de one year say sa 3 midfielders ni nya no omunye creators omo ye obi obeje ball obe destroy no way distribution ento omo say defensive oriented midfielders no omo say akọ back 5 no ma ye nipa be 8 and we chiro na omo je ball no ma ko direct some of the back come Brante friend say Foster that was the game plan of South Africa and to be honest enu asa game plan no na a time bomb amfa. So the first problem at South Africa for enya ye no omo lineup omo formation omo approach and omo setup e coste South Africa national team no those na Mexico be show omo de by setup no the game no kwaku it wasn't the best uye no free wa ade ba ko esa ha South Africa pa na say e kwan yo no omo fa so egibo omo build it up ade ba ko about football na say kwaku se uye coach na wo hye team na wonim se opese okode style of play uni hu akade a menventa se me coach mafa big mafa kwaku minim se big ni kwaku eye players a se o build from the back na o pressure on be say ball no eni se me mo yes ade no ade ba ko enu e ha South Africa pa no eye how anom ye build up on person from the back ne susu no omu players no anytime bia Mexico for no ebe press omu bia no omu lose ball no enne ma Mexico for the show omu first goal and mistake back for South Africa for yen how anom ye build up no and also so amfa because start building from the back no South Africa for any star players are obeka say omu ye press resistant players and the time bia na e cost South Africa for na omu ye errors. At this stage, yenye sa elementary mistake no. Has South Africa national team no. Then again, in discipline, 2 records are South Africa for ninya no. Na avoidable. Records ninya no. And the cost South Africa national team no. So South Africa for nkwaku enu ankasa de no omun deserve win. Draw kra no omun deserve 2-0 na. South Africa for enyaye no na esuampo kra de mame mbo Mexico for na baso enye the best Mexican side ayun World Cup by playing in front of sa crowd we no na Mexico for ntimi enkolusu game no ye wo players bi wo ho a ewose me ball mabaso baako Julian Quinones sa brand ye no kwaku football on nyoma bebre Julian Quinones no kwaku onim se onye Mexico ni oye Colombia ni pa na problem ni yese ye wunu Colombia na baby ye wunu Colombia ni efre ho payan hono drug dealers and gangsters and wo payan ho baby ye wo Quinones no enti wo ya kraketo na osiso e wo payan ho na utira anye ya ida se oba be ye gangster udi tuo be ye nyoma bone anaso be ye drug dealer ba brete fen se Julian Quinones no ade aboa ne pa ne ye say football ne save na brabo sankenya football by this time or a drug dealer enti osoni mo na no odi football na no odi kopie mu Colombia odi kopie mu Mexico ana odi di mu Mexico ana naturalize ade amomo ana me ne wo kase wa kopie mu Saudi Pro League season etwemu no on na gi goalkeeper wo Saudi Pro League metitum se Saudi Pro League no o de compare other leagues a eni suru bebrede by a league Ronaldo wom a league Ivan Toney ewom Joao Felix wom Benzema wom utimi gi goalkeeper kwekweche so modembo no eso eni enti abrantie no enra history ebe kai ne say ye ball 2026 World Cup no ono na ye first player washegu a player na nkenye football kweku by this time anko ye drug dealer a dealer ye football ana etimi asebu abrantie wi na brabo a se owasede bia na brabo asesa on former football and football said the BSC kano football asesa nipa bebre abrabo enti abrantie no football asesa na brabo another player mebo na baso Raul Jimenez kwaku ono so story no areho kakra unse o shego na osu and at the current na Raul Jimenez ensu ni nyina na say ne 4th World Cup after no ahye ne first goal World Cup onya akraketo awo ne first goal World Cup no akobebre ne 4th World Cup after no ahye first goal and the ma ne celebration na efe ne say unse odiniti ne shego no and at the current na osu ni say November 2020 ewo Premier League nim okonya serious injury bi ewo niti oni David Louis Arsenal na onya sa serious injury no doctors in Pokra catcher ne say anhwa untimi survival and sa injury no be so the man say ni football ba wiye entina branch in Pokro so kra say oboba odiniti ebeka ball no enti player ye catcher ne say wakwa konya injury woniti ni football no ba wiye no ene wasa ne first World Cup go a osade niti ana say ye enti wasa make history na ade konti na osu no omu game against Arsenal ehon obia nim say ne ball na ba wiye ba osade niti ana atimi ahye enti ma memo Mexico for na baso na ye hwe games ahodo be baso kwakuma minra transfers nim kakra player ba ko a obi ebo ni din or trend kese power transfers nim no West Ham midfielder Matheus Fernandes and teams bebrana na chase sa brantie we West Ham last season nyoma nkoyi the entire club by in terms of individual brilliance players so mu yi last season West Ham no na Matheus Fernandes no eka ho bi or a central midfielder. But because of the energy level, no, otimi ball as a box to box. Na ability say, obetima control game. Na ability obe drop your bet, obe beje ball, obe carry ball, no, obetima turn defense into attack. How are you lose ball now? Obe very aggressive, combative, or the beba tackles, or the beba recoveries, no. Ama class be HAC Matheus Fernandes. Anna, ni age nesaye 21 years. And to be able to say uye project, now when you play a bit say obetima a long-term project at the amount. And to me no kase kwaku Real Madrid, PSG, Arsenal, and Manchester United, and HAC Abrante friends Matheus Fernandes. Na niji sema wo hodema Manchester United ye say clubs HAC Abrante ni nyina no. Ene hwei Manchester United ehwiri edikan. Manchester United ehwiri edikan. Among PSG, Real Madrid, Arsenal, Matheus Fernandes no kwaku me no kase Manchester United and ehwiri edikan. Na ni nyina ne ye say West Ham for ekofa Abrante no 38 million pounds. Odiba euros a 44 million euros. Na West Ham mpanyimfo say team bi aba be fa Matheus Fernandes no ubetua double of the omede kofa no was Southampton. And to say oba West Ham aba fa Matheus Fernandes a ubetua 76 million pounds. That's 88 million euros. Ni nyina ne say omo sign Abrante ne free Southampton no. Southampton for the shemu say omo ton na omo 15% sell on clause ewum. And to West Ham for apes kakesie. Now Abrante ni agent Jorge Mendes. Jorge Mendes a good relationship with PSG. Jorge Mendes players a PSG, Vitinha, Joao Neves, Emery, Bacola. And to PSG for Jorge Mendes a casa for the boy because of a good relationship. Jorge Mendes and the Jose Mourinho Real Madrid. Or the Bernardo Silva ko. Say Jorge Mendes ni Florentino Perez as aba benya good relationship. Mene wo ka say Real Madrid Jose Mourinho e pa Abrante no. And Manchester United so a good relationship with Jorge Mendes. Ne client Lenny Yoro mu nyina wo ho. Ba me no ka se kwaku. Akra ne say ope Manchester. Matheus Fernandes say Manchester no hu ne se beboa no. Na hu ne se okọ PSG a onya playing time. PSG for midfielders no Vitinha mo ne Joao Neves. Fabian reduce Panama onya bi mbosa. Okọ Real Madrid a infinfi ho no Bernardo Silva maba ne ho be kire no. By oba Manchester United a Ugarte ko Casemiro ko enti mfinfi ho no obetime nya biabo e wo Manchester United ana Premier League no asabo bi adaptation ye problem so me no wo kasa die teams o mo pe Matheus Fernandes no Manchester United ana ehwere di kan ye hwe de o mo ne West Ham ebetima akwa Juventus for akọ Real Madrid say o mo pe Real Madrid for player Franco Mastantuano o mo pe no loan ana o maka kire Real Madrid for say o mo pe Mastantuano loan. Kwaku the last time ni edi Master Antoine hu nkomo no na make say e was so loan for no ankasa development because how are Jose ne Real Madrid for person almost show team for the new season no e most likely say Master Antoine enya enough playing time about affecting development and we are crack to bia na person develop here we be hia playing time enti otina Real Madrid debate ma affecting no ana Juventus for aba Kwaku decision we a very critical decision for Master Antoine on the team because one se o pese okonya playing timer e wo se wo team a ubenya gidie se obenya biabo enti for bit se Casemiro ba Real Madrid no nya bimbo oko loan wo LC Porto akonya bi boy etimi establish no ho okay Madrid Lucas Vazquez oko loan with Espanyol eko establish no ho recently Brahim Diaz okon low with AC Milan eko establish no. Nico Pass eko komu. Ana nansi hu Hendrik oko France. Enti se Master Antoine e playing timer. The first decision was on the team e take no. E playing time. Juventus na omo pen no oko Juventus a obenya playing time. And I say unya. That's the first question. Then again, e was we consider team a pressure nim bebre. Because o person develop it. O person developing na be top player yen ko team pressure won bebre already uko Italy team ba ko pressure won pass you Juventus na say uko Italian Serie A Juventus enkane no dominate this so on dominate bi enti ye the pressure to Luciano Spalletti so say e wo say o team di omoji league enti pressure with Juventus then again ni position no obo no why na bo Juventus e Francesco Conceição enti imagine say Master Antoine akọ Juventus oni Portugal akra keto no Conceição na pre one position kwaku be woni say eye tough be tough e ma Master Antoine wo Juventus because Conceição no onya akra keto
no kra no se na nya bi mo saa
o ti ase but later no osase se obo
Conceição ball no onye consistent the ball is bad or
dangerous
but he's not one guy team and relying on hope throughout the season.
But to be honest, say Master Antoine be Colomb party and Kamenya anke was say team Betis Mone sa teams are unse omiya me do table teams bisa no.
No who has a big boy.
Ono hu no ho ase big boy.
Onye big boy sa. Onye no hu no say big boy.
Onje as ono no hu no ho sa.
Say osoro.
Aha.
No problem by decision one take decision so a obetima Cologne na onse nya bi mbo.
That will be dangerous.
A be dangerous more. And to that decision na Master Antoine obeteki no. E also mo consider a lot of factors. Bernardo Silva situation no kwaku. E ba ye no. Mate say enkofo say Real Madrid for aje Barcelona play a biem. Madrid for aje Barcelona play a biem. As a Madrid for tata Barcelona kwaku enti sa. Mame ma nkomo no die tie pa enti sa. Team na Bernardo Silva pepa no eye Barcelona enye Real Madrid. Na kumem team na opese obo no na ye Barcelona bobuko no. Barcelona ene Bernardo Silva edi nkomo. Omunya agreement. Ye ka ne verbal agreement. On say verbal agreement no eye se me de ma no ene wano akasa ya akasa ne age atum. Ane wo de eye rate na ye de agu nkrata so. So the agreement between Barcelona and Bernardo Silva na eye verbal. Ano muji tu mu se ombefa Bernardo Silva. Initially, na papa friend say Hansi Flick na etwetwe ne ho. Ana ekiri Hansi Flick egi tu mu. Ana Deku eni abrante ne kasa omuji tu mu. Omuji tu mu no mo ni abrante ne kasa say ni sika na oje wo Man City no. Oba Barcelona obete so. Bernardo Silva egi tu mu. Ana ekiri omo sane ne ti ase say oba ombema ne secondary row. Football si e sign player bia na se o sign Mbappe. Untimi nkoma Mbappe secondary row. Obema ni major row, obeye major figure e otimi nim. Omone Bernardo Silva edi nkomo no Barca catch Bernardo Silva say, ombema ni secondary row. Enti se ote bench mpokra na enkoye problem. Eno susu oji tu mu. Enti Barcelona enim say, one Bernardo Silva enya agreement ye verbal. Barca catch Abrante ne say, ompese omu dealing with players, ompese omu free bobo ko di mansa. Na omako mu main target Julian Alvarez so Bernardo Silva edi tu mu. Problem bi eni ho. Etire ana Matthew Alemani a yes sporting director de Atletico Madrid. Efre Bernardo Silva ne Hoye Mendes say e ma ne nko Barcelona. Na Atletico Madrid for ebema no eye first row. Enti oba obeye key figure wa Atletico Madrid. Ne salary ne so mema ne better salary. Enti kwaku be kai a story bi ba say Bernardo Silva say yebo World Cup ni wi no be take decision. Okay, sa story no.
Yeah.
Ni nyina ne yesa sa time na Atletico Madrid for na kasa. Enti ho no na wanya divided attention. Ana okache ne agent say ene yembo World Cup ni wi na omo take decision say obekọ Barca ana say obekọ Atletico Madrid. Until say Jose Mourinho ebem. Ana Jose Mourinho convince Bernardo Silva. Ana Jorge Mendes. So Real Madrid for ankasa na omo plans no Bernardo Silva nka ho. Eye Jose Mourinho ana ka che Florentino Perez say on ne nima de crow hiya Bernardo Silva. And in this case, a purely tactical signing. And yet Real Madrid na nepe Bernardo Silva ni menimu ya na onka Madrid plans by a Jose ana a catcher Real Madrid for say obey no team no person obese no ana Real Madrid for aye Ediama Jose Mourinho. And Barcelona for any Real Madrid for mo yes say aje Barcelona player no there be Barcelona for ankasa no na Bernardo Silva enye major targets. On say oh yeah transfers are you major targets and you secondary targets. Na Bernardo Silva enye Barcelona major targets. No ka omo secondary targets no. And to say oko Real Madrid da. Eni say eye Barcelona for. So Barcelona obey a good addition by now onye major targets. And they say oko Real Madrid da omo division. Madrid fans ni bi hu ne say eye ase enye.
Okay.
Because of the age, no. By kwaku, Jose nenima de Krontia or say Bernardo Silva intimidate. As a Madrid fan, remember Jose time. near head you Bernardo Silva ebeye Jose Ankasa eyope leaders e wo field ne so enti be head ba kwesi
okay
PSG ne Adagule nyame adom echina me the details beba
Matse
PSG ene Adagule di nkomo on say Emery Zaire Emery episode free PSG because of playing time PSG be pay another midfielder Adagule so Madrid midfielders or moto no hu ni yenti nyame adom echina PSG ene Adagule Arsenal ana Manukoni ehonsem Arsenal ni abrepa Manukoni eno honsem no ana Mexico fo player no share first goal no Kinianos no Arsenal for monitor no work
obia wa wonye wie ma
ya wo mu monitor no
ma say me
nti nyame adom echine the latest ni bebre na beba
Biggie Kwaku Ghana for you
Kwaku World Cup opening ceremony, first game of the World Cup. I think it lit a raise consensus because nani pado do na chain na omashe di ebesi. But for me feel say live up to the expectations. Seriously speaking, everything about the start of the World Cup was on point. A lot of things went well. From the opening ceremony, the performances, any game Nankasa I share on the first day, which is Morocco, and the South Africans to game. No, Kwaku, about the game, the Mexicans, I said Morocco, sorry, Mexico. Kwaku, the Mexicans in that particular game, and then I know more as a host nation. And now so Mexico is one of the teams who have a lot of matches at the World Cup stage. But Omun team win a tournament in they've played more than 60 games at the World Cup. Team will be with the exception of Mexico. I'll more than 60 games at the World Cup will be an tournament in Ibida. But Mexico and team in yes are there no. Into Omu this particular World Cup Omu betimi aje. Ebebem, and only a different conversation. But a very important over started tournament in a very well. On a good note. And this is started tournament on a good note there. Now your opponent to be as South Africa. Whatever we would have to do to pick the 3 maximum points. Give us the confidence to play the subsequent games in the tournament. No, not as Mexico first acquire so no more just our points. No more confidence on the rest of the matches. South Africans, we've seen them play at the African level. But there have been a lot of teams on the African continent. Omobo African Cup of Nations, Omobo qualifies. You get confidence in them, but when they get to the world stage, they disappoint. Egypt is a typical example. It's how South Africa played. I'm just surprised because we've seen a lot of African countries especially when they've been absent from the World Cup for a longer period. So, Kobo World Cup ni biache. Okwa mpain bebre ayana performance na nhyeda nkoye. Minim say dey obi beka se na se binum so akwa na ebi omu mo obi da biti se Ghana in 2006 enye se ne ebo obi achempo na ye mo obi da kra but our performance was good but in pain bebre no to every rule there's an exception. South Africans ni exhibited the intia when countries stay out of the World Cup for a longer period omo community mono it was clear if they have anybody to blame omo midfielder omo defense the center backs they are the people they have to blame. First goal, no. South Africa now the ball he was in possession of the ball. But then the football is to the extent the team will be our open results to be an and making sure a pressing game should be effective. It's the Mexican player had to press or J ball now no release ball to be honest. Omunim the kind of quality of possessing. Omunim the obetimi with the ball. Eventually, or cutting in as an inside forward, or finding the right spot and a ball no man. The second goal, look at the positioning of the defenders, the central defenders. Yet, Emma Raul Jimenez, I find that space, it's me connected to the ball man to goal post anymore. So their midfield, their central defense, no more like coordination, no. Into omu obi ombe blamina omu fa blaming masa anko for no more working on that for the subsequent games. For the Mexicans, me feel say they weren't even potent enough because they should have scored more. Adia ba ko akachi attention pa the red cards na kwa America. Kwaku, I am having a feeling say ebia yenwe tournament we no Now Baba be FIFA World Cup I recorded the most red cards. I'm having that kind of feeling. So far World Cups I abojina. World Cup I recorded red cards, but the most red cards was in 2006. World Cup no. And when I recorded the most red cards, Mako 28. That was in 2006. Gamer, I recorded the most red cards in a single World Cup game tournament. Kwaku was in that same tournament in 2006, the Battle of Nuremberg. Portugal and Netherlands game no. 4 red cards in the BEM. 2 teams no be any red card mienu. Eti enra de no eka de na nke ya ben ho. Na de nti America san hwa yenwie tournament we no na ba be red World Cup I recorded the most red cards na and say 2006 de na ye di ho nkomo no so be kaya at that time na ye expanded World Cup no countries na eba no na ye miem na ye 32 countries and eba this time around they expanded the 48 because of that matches are able World Cup nim the dorsal change the previous ones. Back then, now about 64 games in every World Cup. It's the 2006 World Cup now. I recorded the most red cards and we only played 64 games. But when I say about 104 due to the expansion. It's only one of the reasons. Aside that, I am very sure, sir, a lot of people don't even know. Say FIFA the Mrafo Fraba year Juma starting from the World Cup. A lot of people don't even know. Nansenya Benfica and Real Madrid game. Gianluca Cristiani. Eko katana no. Eno ko kan Semiliche Vinicius Junior. Ene beye nsem bebre. Ye suspended Gianluca Cristiani. Ene hu nsem nyina. Because of that, FIFA the new rule about a year Juma World Cup ni mu. Say o ka asem de akire with teammates. Na oko kata wa no a. Now referee na hu asema okan obi anti asema okan referee wo kwan so ma red card. A new rule I started from the World Cup. Now take effect in the leagues any ade no from next season. Etimra na wo hono dada no. Samra we na nka ho. But this is another rule about beka ho a. And no so betimi ama red cards ni ade bebe ma do so. Players are going to argue with referees because of these same rules. Ebe free cards. And the goalkeeper kitabo on a check more than 5 seconds. Now one ball kick in Sima. You just wanna kick the opponent. It is a new rule of FIFA the Abba game anymore. It started from this World Cup. I am very sure, no matter how abreast you are with the rules, Kwaku, Semrafo Froba and Fahunim Mra Winim, a thought they have for Frontier. It's usual numbers of the games are increasing. Any new rules about the tournament we home. Any annual game are your boy. The first game of the tournament now recorded 3 red cards now. And no, and a man with that kind of feeling. Say you more tournament we in Fenway. Now World Cup we are possible. So Baba be FIFA World Cup. I recorded the most red cards in a single FIFA tournament. Now be to 2006 with 28 red cards. And funny enough, the 2 previous editions of the World Cup, the entire tournament, I recorded 4 red cards. 2018, the whole tournament, 4 red cards. 2022, the whole tournament, 4 red cards. But Enra, just one game, I recorded 3 red cards. Kwaku, me say we have story be about Darwin Nunes. Say or train Liverpool for call. Onya Liverpool obesaba. So no ni nipa na de. I know say nempaibo ene ni tiri mu po. Ene say nyame be na dom na brabo be koso. Ti say wako Al Hilal. Na wa boss season na we unfortunate performance na nye bad o Hilal. 16 games no boy. Out of the 16 games or boy league ni mo no. Or share 6 goals and or assist 4 times. Into 10 goal contribution there. Honestly speaking, enye bad. And a lot of teams efanwa enye problem. But for him to come back to Liverpool, Kwaku Andoni Ariola a sanction deal we are. Ebeka chere mi ameti so onye ready to be Liverpool adwuma no. Eno failure enye me nwanwa. Yes. It is because say players are more makwanya, more back to clubs. So ya kwada. Ebi onya playing time. Ebi onya opportunity. And what free team nim no call. o free team nim no okwa ni mode mo na akwa peja e kosuru bebre enti years aba time bi aba they feel that this a player e man call you know akwa peja to the extent say yenya no a e wo team nim anke be man another opportunity amana ba be si akan no makwa fasa akwada nde na back Manchester United ni Paul Abiopoba. It's a typical example. It's a down-ness ya akwada. I know you Liverpool akwada. And we free bobo konim. And I also back in this man and come here with any problem. But obi o ye panyini. Obe free team mwako. Now obe science watch say obe manaba back. Especially when Otono outright. Obe manaba back no baba be si akan no. Enye players to say down-ness mo. And e mo almost our opportunity no. It should be players are performing extraordinarily well. Obo kunimu. Any more sa akwanya no. Manchester United ni Cristiano Ronaldo. United brought him back when things were difficult for Manchester United. Omuhia leader. Omuhia obi obema goals. Let's bring Cristiano Ronaldo back. In the past, wababa ya juma di ama Manchester United bobo kuno Obuaji League. Oje top scorer. Or winning the Ballon d'Or when he was playing for Manchester United. A juma ye obo kunim no. Se mrebia ba no da so bon at that top level. Na Manchester United here no as penyin na Obabaka any problem. But Darwin Núñez as a penyin out the free Liverpool. Na ne mode mo te sen kwaku. Darwin Núñez bought 3 seasons in Premier League ni mo. About 95 games and no share 25 goals. Darwin Núñez 95 games and about Premier League move for Liverpool. The first season about 29, second season about 36, third season about 30. Okaboma 95 games. The first season was 9 goals, second season 11, third season was 5. Okaboma 25 goals and no share. Performance ben a bro so down a do Liverpool bobo ko nimu. I no na Liverpool leper striker. A low budget one for that matter. Liverpool be decided to be kwakọ for no na dia ba. Kwaku menya sure say Chelsea be here Nicholas Jackson at this moment. E wo mu team ni mu. But say Liverpool probably for low budget reasons. Na sika semunti. Omo bete niema so akwa fast striker de na ba dia. Omo hwe no mo Nicholas Jackson mfa no bra.
Jackson Chelsea aka so turn for ana.
Kwaku menya sure so be call as an expensive option compared to other strikers say Bianca Liverpool betimi ato.
Chelsea be charge 50 ko.
Kwaku na 50 ko no. Some me father win next day obosa.
Ah then na wo problem. So on cast obey starter Liverpool. Or squad member keke.
Yes, squad member keke. But squad member keke no. You look at the one. Bibia betimi asi. Say see amena wo kase Alexander Isak ye injury prone.
Nti Oprana be bobia. What is the problem?
The money was form for even becoming a Liverpool backup striker. Kwaku meka Nicholas Jackson or spending 2 seasons for Chelsea e Premier League ni mu. 2 seasons no spending you know. Almost 65 league games. 65 league games, no usher 24 league goals. And today na Darwin Núñez aye, e Premier League nim de Bruno Nicholas Jackson so. Darwin Núñez about 95, usher 25. Nicholas Jackson about 65, usher 24. Tell me that Darwin Núñez a better option. And the Nicholas Jackson so be backup.
Na what check cost so. Backup there, you would want to look at the cost.
That is what I'm talking about, sir. Cost no. So we heard Darwin Núñez. Ne bo na fo no cre. But Nicholas Jackson also compared to him will be another cheap option for Liverpool. But what the two omumienu a
Nico no boarding e chain Darwin.
But he will give you a better performance than Darwin.
Anyway,
and that is my conversation.
Yeah, it was way. Me that see. Madaroma na booking course no enso ewo ho. Na yebebubo course no enso edi ama Madaroma course ni ye ready ye monko mokakra. Nti ehun asam no afa jerseys no so mesamo yegusu aye ton jerseys no open BlackStars jersey ni bi atwa 0555 217 899 0555 217 899 ukuta jersey no open jersey no na original one asha ofre ye will lost ha oba ye DB enso ebema Mr. Buki course no aye ready anamo di amaye BW5 C0A 133B BW5 C0A 133B. Code number 2 BW5 COA 298B. BW5 COA 298B. Code number 3 BW5 COA 4FD5. BW5 COA 4FD5.